I coaxed my Mustang fastback up the on-ramp of I-15 and slipped into the fast lane and let the blue horse gallop. I flipped through the 8-track tapes on the passenger seat and pushed the Bee Gees, the Carpenters, and Glenn Campbell away and reached for America and pressed it in. A horse with no name played like a quaalude, relaxing every muscle in my young body, but without those worrisome side effects of ludes. I slipped north from San Diego, past Temecula, past Murrieta, and watched Wildomere disappear into a rearview memory. A few hours later, I-15 stumbled over I-40, and I stumbled back into Barstow. On Barstow Road, bikers jonesed over a bullneck frame and compared the size of their clutch boosters, drag bars, and double bumpers. I headed for Casa del Desierto to see my old friend Harry the Face. I drove past the old Skyline Drive-In and wondered if the owner still spent most of his Saturday nights chasing the local potheads from the restrooms. I pulled into the parking lot of Casa del Desierto, a combination hash house, motel, and honky-tonk. Harry poured shots and regaled regulars with lurid tales of old flames and Barstow's youth. The place was nearly empty when I got there a few hours before the last sundown in October of '79. I saw Harry first. His face melted on from his days as a smoke jumper, or as he called it, a fire herder. The tables were mostly empty, but a few old locals rested their idle spurs on adjacent chairs. Harry was pouring vodka into the coffee cup of an attractive stranger at the end of the bar. Looking past her, Harry's eyes met mine, and we both welled up a bit. "Hello, son," Harry said, motioning me to the bar. "Hiya, Dad," I said, the usual, as if it was just yesterday and not 5 years since we'd seen each other. I sat next to the beautiful stranger with legs like that lady piano player I met back in Albuquerque, and knockers like that woman in Lake Elsinore who taught me half of what I know about real estate and everything I know about eating pussy. But this new woman was all the good parts of all the hot women I'd ever fucked or wanted to fuck. It was like Dr. Frankenstein custom built her for me. She had walnut hair sprinkled with flecks of fool's gold that she lassoed into a ponytail. I spotted her silver heels on slender feet and a red leather miniskirt that barely covered an ass of granite. Harry answered the phone at the other end of the bar, and the woman turned to me. "Wheatstraw," I said, holding out my hand and using a nickname and not my real name, a habit picked up from too many regret-filled mornings. I was well practiced in the fine art of getting my pants on in the early morning hours, and I could slip on a pair of jeans without rattling a ring of keys and a pocket full of quarters. This may all seem like bullshit now, with my hair avalanching down my forehead and tumbling down over a belly of Spam Jam. It may not seem likely with my astigmatism, myopia, and my suspicious glaucoma, but even I was young once, with a full set of teeth and a permanent erection. I could have been a Viagra donor back then. "I am Natasha. I am not guilty. I had good alibi," she pleaded. Unsure what she'd meant, I just said, "Nice to meet you, Natasha. Can I buy you a drink?" Natasha had a pile of greasy food on her plate, and she used a butter knife to load chunks of bacon and egg on her fork, waving the gooey utensil around as she spoke. A few hours turned to 5 or 6, and Harry and I caught up with each other, and Natasha brought me up to speed. She had just made parole on her 3rd try after a 10-year bit for manslaughter. The victim was her husband. Harry lit candles in a pair of jack-o'-lantern behind the bar and moved away to pour a few grogs. Natasha put a hand on my lap. "Right away, I can tell you have big hard one, and it is long time since there was any sex between my legs. You are a good-looking young man, a bit chubby, but that is no problem. I can fix with my exercise program that I learned in the Big Stir. I think you will fit nicely into old clothes of Boris, my dead husband. The dry cleaner did good job on blood." She shoved her hands into my pants and her tongue into my mouth before she finished chomping down the hash brown she was chewing. I swallowed her lips, tongue, and surprisingly tasty morsels. A snake tongue slithered into my lungs. She tasted like sugar and horseradish. We raced out to the back seat of my Mustang, and she ran her tongue down my neck and nearly popped the buttons from my shirt and nibbled the nipples off my chest and started working towards Old Faithful. "In old country, I am known as oral illusionist. You will like very much my blowjob, she said. We wedged ourselves into a position new to the Kama Sutra, heels on the dash, legs tangled, a foot jammed into the glove box that popped open. A horse with no name carried us away. She got the ball rolling with a little 68, which is kind of like 69, but I still owed her one. I have a nice bed and condoms are optional still in America, she said. I think we should go with the condoms this time around, I answered. My room is upstairs, she said. Let's go, I said. We will bring song tape where I have portable unit for our song playing pleasure. I am already wet with ladywood, she said. Her bed was the only round one at Casa del Desierto, and that room was usually reserved for honeymooners and the occasional location scout from Hollywood. I dove in head first, like I always do. She shoved America into her 8-track and her ring finger up my ass. After heading south, I headed north and made a circle around the globe, spending time in France and Greece. We fucked well past last call, and I dozed off watching a picker's moon glow through blue curtains and pink lips. In the morning, I awoke, still handcuffed, and my ass was floating in the juice we squeezed from each other the night before. She was whispering on the phone to someone. He has flavor like mousse and texture like young squirrel. Can you give me alibi again, if I need that?